Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. I'm a dating and relationship expert specializing in helping you get your ex back. And today I want to talk about how to stay in no contact if you have an anxious attachment style. I know that most of you listening to this channel have that attachment style. There are several reasons why people have a hard time staying in no contact, and I'm going to go over two of those today. But first, I want to, of course, welcome back the No Contact Army. Have you been a good little soldier or a bad little soldier? And if you've been a good little soldier, then if you have an iPhone, you have downloaded the Silencio app and you are using it to help stay in no contact. And if you haven't, the link is below every video. And if you too would like to join the No Contact Army, all you have to do is hit the subscribe button and the bell notification, and you're in. And to read the No Contact Army manual, go to nocontactsecrets.com, where you can read 2 free chapters before purchasing the book. Okay, so as I said, there are several reasons why people have a hard time staying in no contact. I'm going to touch upon 2 of them. Now, the first one actually applies to everyone, not just people with an anxious attachment style. And this has to do with our friend dopamine. And according to Dr. Amen, or is it Amen? I don't know. He is well known for studying the brain. And he says that the brain doesn't do what's good for it. It does what it's always done. And that's why you have to be careful with what you allow your brain to do, because once you allow it to do something and it gets dopamine, it's going to seek it again, even if it's bad for it. Meaning that even though you know you should be in no contact, you also know that contacting your ex may give you a dopamine hit. So for those of you who have broken no contact and you didn't get that dopamine hit, you often end up saying, well, I'll never break no contact again. Well, that's because you learned the hard way. And once you see that you're not going to get that hit by contacting your ex, then that usually disabuses you of the notion that you can just break no contact when you feel like it and you'll get a hit, because most of the time it'll be the total opposite, unfortunately. Now, the second reason, and this applies more to people with an anxious attachment style, has to do with something called the vagus nerve. And no, it's not spelled like the city Vegas. So the vagus nerve signals some of the most important functions to the body, gives signals to some of the most important functions like breathing, heart rate, blood pressure, those little minor things. And it's also largely responsible for the parasympathetic nervous system response. And when you have something that's called a high vagal tone, then your ability to self-soothe is high, which means that you're able to respond rather than react. And of course, the opposite is true, meaning that when you have a low vagal tone, that's when you react rather than respond. So what happens is that something triggered you. You felt like you were going to lose your ex, even though you've already lost them. You feel like you're going to really lose them now. You saw something on social media, you heard something. Anyways, something triggered you and you enter fight or flight mode. And the problem is that you get stuck there because you don't know how to stabilize it. And so you figure the only way to stabilize your nervous system is to reach out to your ex. However, if you know about no contact, which if you've been listening to me for a while, you do, you know that that is not the way to stabilize your nervous system. Because often you do not get the reaction you want, and now your nervous system is really out of whack. So I'm going to give you a couple of techniques to use when you're in fight or flight mode and you want to reach out. Now, there's a lot of videos on YouTube that'll tell you how to calm down when you're in fight or flight mode, so you can certainly check those out also. But for today, I'm going to give you 2. All right, so the first one is, of course, breathing exercises. And you want to just close your eyes and take long, deep breaths. I know it seems simple, but it works. And you can find a lot of short 5 to 10 minute meditations online that you can listen to while you're doing your breathing exercises. So just find something that resonates with you. I'm not going to make recommendations because everyone has to find what works for them. And the second one is to hum. And the reason this works is because the vagus nerve comes down either side of your neck. I mean, it's all over the body, but it also comes down either side of your neck. So you want to make a low, slow, resonant sound. Close your eyes and do it 10 times. So it would be something like do that for as long as you can. 10 times. So, my job is to help you get your ex back. And you cannot get them back if you continue to break no contact. That's why I'm telling you about regulating your nervous system. It's so important when you've been triggered to know what to do instead of reaching out. Because if you reach out and they reject you, beside the fact it's going to feel terrible, it also lowers your chance of getting them back. So I want to do this video so that instead of reaching out when you're triggered, you can do the breathing exercises, you can do the humming, and there's a lot of other techniques. If you want to do a YouTube search, go ahead. So now I want to hear from you. Do you have techniques that you use to calm yourself down? And if you do, let us know what they are. And in the meantime, if you would like my help to get your ex back, go to theartoflove.net. The direct link is below, and we will send you the rates. If this video has been helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. If you're listening to a podcast, please rate and review. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.